Okay, so welcome, folks. Yeah, appreciate seeing the chats over there. I did ask for suggestions on how to meditate, and I saw gentleness and equanimity. Sounds reasonable to me. So yeah, let's settle into a posture. Just being held by the silence, even if there's noise, we can be held by the silence. We're encouraged to bring a spirit of radical honesty to experience. The Dharma never asks us to pretend, ever. It's radical honesty, and then it's paired with a kind of radical nonviolence directed towards the entirety of our sensory life. And this is our path, deeply honest and deep trust that we do not have to fight to heal. We do not have to fight to wake up. we just kind of cook in our own juices, moment by moment, experience softening us, kneading the dough of our being. Just filling your body with awareness. And we don't associate force with gentleness, but we can make it such. Our strength and courage and our willingness can be very gentle. The awareness, just blessing its objects with fidelity but gentleness. we're connecting rather than controlling. The controlling, the push, the pull, that's not gentle. And gentleness is not self-indulgence. We're being invited to stay. To give radical permission to the ambivalence that runs straight through the center of the world. We practice staying and being softened by what's here. How gently might you wash a baby's head? Kind of make your hands soft. but clear. Maybe that's the spirit with which we hold our experience. We just cultivate this deep trust in a kind of surrendering to the flow of pleasant and unpleasant. You can only know your mind when you stop trying to do anything with your mind. Perhaps that's the ultimate gentleness. Clinging is busy. Love is still. It's good to sit with you. Okay, so every now and then, I like to ask the question, like, Matthew, do you know what you're doing? Like the whole teaching thing, the whole Dharma thing. Do you know what you're doing? And that sounds like it comes out of like self-doubt or something. Uh, but not really. It's just that as a teacher, the way you talk about Dhamma gets shaped by forces you cannot clearly see. Just as our lives are shaped by a million unseen forces, one's Dharma is also how one talks about it, is also. And so I just ask the question, what's happening here? And to answer that, I have to consider another question, which is something like, what's the function of a Dharma talk? What's the function of a Dharma talk? And classically, from one kind of prominent sutta in the numerical discourses, the Dharma should only be taught with the thought of, I will speak step by step. Not doing great on that front. I'll speak explaining cause and effect, the sequence of cause and effect, also a little shaky. Speak out of compassion. Okay, fair enough. Speak without being motivated by material reward. Okay. And speak without disparaging others. Pretty good. Nor disparaging oneself. A little shaky. But the truth is, I only mercilessly make fun of myself because of love. So, so what's the function of a Dharma talk? What's the counsel on how to offer things? Is a talk meant to be an exchange of information or something else? Uh, in some ways, yeah. In some ways, this path is about learning the way we learn anything. Some of Dharma can be learned in the same ways that we learn anything else. And, experience, just the human condition, is so bewildering. It's amazing, that the Buddha and the tradition sort of arrived at like distinctions that are so valuable, just carving nature at its joints, and it's really powerful just to know, okay, to have maps that there are three well springs of suffering or seven factors or different aspects of mindfulness, species of love, all this. It's like, yeah, we got to learn that. We got to learn that. And in that respect, clarity is important. It's not good to be massively confused. It's not good for me to be massively confusing on that front. But information transfer it's not the only currency of exchange. And sometimes the Dharma is meant to be bewildering. we don't really like that usually, but it's if you're sort of like it's weird to say, but if you're not being bewildered, you might not be learning. A dear Dharma friend said to me that she's been practicing a really long time. And she said when she first heard Dharma talk, she really did not understand much. You know, she didn't know, there was not a lot of information transfer. But what she could hear and what made her keep going was that she could hear that the teacher loved something and knew something that she didn't. And so out of that what the she wasn't understanding what was being said exactly, but she could sort of sense the faith that was animating those words, and she just followed that thread. And now she knows everything that they knew. We we learn more when we're not highly intolerant of uncertainty, when we can roll with ambiguity and consciously experience conflicts with our current mental models. Part of what spurs our kind of learning, I almost made the slip of longing. Part of what spurs that is that we get hungry to resolve some of those tensions. How does this, like, it's an awkward place to not have a coherent model. And so it mobilizes something in us that to try to resolve those tensions. In other words, it motivates us to grow, to learn. Sometimes a Dharma talk is is just meant to inspire faith or love for the practice, just to really gladden the mind, to gladden the mind. And yeah, sometimes I can be a little, I don't know, just part of me is like real renunciation and, just this kind of eagerness to experience the unpleasantness with equanimity. And yeah, it's a good thing for sure, sometimes to be willing to feel bad. But other times it's really supremely good to feel good. And sometimes Dharma talk functions like a kind of soothing bedtime story, you know. Uh, like when I used to teach teen retreats, kind of groups of 40 kids, 15 to 19, part retreat, silent retreat, part camp, part group therapy, roughly, group come together. Uh, and those teen retreats, they would end on January 1st. And so the last night was New Year's Eve, and we would stay up late and have a dance party, and the kids would get kind of a little wild, and we would do a community share, like a no talent show kind of vibe, except they were all super talented, and dance the new year in, right? And then, okay, what are you going to do with 40 rabid children on New Year's Eve, who are hyped up and having Vipassana romances all over the place, And so we just get the kids to lay down in the meditation hall and then tell, lights down, eyes closed. Okay, it's story time. It's Dharma story time. And that's one function of Dharma talks. Dharma talk is a kind of co-meditation where we're offering each other attention. It's just that simple. I offer my attention, you offer yours. And in that kind of currency, there's a lot of care, right? I know I've quoted my friend and colleague Mark Belzer, who said, like, the willingness to pay attention to another without agenda, very closely related to love. To love well is to learn to pay attention well. And in this way, we're really both listening to each other, you know, listening to each other. I'm trying to listen to how the words arise and the ways in which they facilitate kind of sense of connection with you. And that means that I have to stay really close to experience. So it's kind of a tension flowing out, flowing down. And just abiding in that is can be nourishing. I'm also very conscious that I don't own my words. I don't control the meanings that they make, and I feel often like my words might say too much, might say not enough. The literary critics say something like the author's dead, meaning that you are left to construct the meanings, to find the resonances, to discover something about yourself in these words. It's not my job nor my inclination to tell you what to do or how to live. There are a lot of right ways to live. And so, in this sense, a Dharma talk really merely clears a space whereby you can find yourself. Maybe the most important function of a Dharma talk is something like just to inhabit a Dharma field together. The kind of space between us becomes sanctified. Even here, without seeing you, that's enough. It's enough. And that space becomes filled with Dharma. That space runs through us. We become much more porous, And when there's a sense of we're doing something together, when the Dharma field, to use language from Ajahn Sujito, when that opens up, I really have no idea who I am, and but this is how we dwell together. The Dharma is a transmission. In a sense, it's just a merely modeling particular mind states, moment by moment. And the teacher is just inviting the practitioners into their mind and expressing whatever it may be in that moment, love or grief or emptiness, compassion. And I have, I take care in how I structure a talk and notes that I follow, a kind of outline that I follow. But the words are really only vehicles for expressing a mind moment. And when I'm putting together notes, the kind of skeletal outline of a talk, that's what I'm attuning to. What words can we dwell in together? And so this is a function of resonance. I'm only pointing to that which we already share. And so the teacher depends on the sincerity of the practitioner, a Dharma talk. There's no Dharma talk without sincerity. And kind of when I'm on my own, just in a day, I don't feel like I know anything, like wisdom. It's like It's like comical, you know. Uh, I don't know anything. But then we get together, you show up, then there's Dharma. And so uh, this is not a kind of performance, but something like just co-meditation, some vulnerability in the exposure, I think. I don't know what it means exactly, but I saw a day long on Tai Chi, or maybe it was a book, and it was titled "There Are No Secrets." There are no secrets. I love that title, you know. Uh, Here too, no secrets, meaning some of you might know me better than I know myself. This is this is Sangha, yeah, abiding together in Dharma. So I offer this for your consideration.